After I reviewed Christine, I've been meaning to watch another movie starring Rebecca Hall, and Night House caught my attention. Even though it's marketed and mainly presented as a horror movie, it's actually not all that scary, nor does it have too much in the way of blood or gore. It's much closer to a psychological thriller, but most of the movie is hardly thrilling. It's not bad though. I kind of like it, but I don't think it's great. The story follows Beth Parchin, a very recent widow after her husband Owen shot himself in the middle of their lake. While grieving from her loss, Beth is visited by supernatural happenings and ghosts, and she eventually decides to investigate deeper into her late husband's life. Turns out that he was keeping some pretty big secrets from her, in particular research into the occult. Throughout the movie, Beth struggles with what might be real and fights to confront personal demons while trying to hold on to her dwindling sanity. Most of the elements that would make for a good movie are there, the acting and cinematography are solid, so even when there isn't really anything happening, which occurs a fair bit in this movie, it can still be enjoyable to watch. I think Rebecca Hall is a good actress. Her character is depressed and has this attitude like she's kind of given up on life. She really doesn't care what people think of her and talks with a biting sarcasm. This gives the movie an uncomfortable vibe at times and makes it darkly comedic, which I like.
But he came in last Thursday.
That was the last day of school.
He said that you weren't here?
Yes, I was out for a few days. It was a personal matter.
Well, he told me he was out the day you presented those projects. We all have personal matters to deal with sometimes.
Okay, you know what? Let's just excuse him from that assignment. There, B.
That's not what I wanted.
Then, what did you want?
Excuse me?
When you came in here, what did you want?
I want to know why my son got his...
My husband shot himself in the head last Thursday.
I hadn't heard.
No, because it's a personal matter. So yeah. Yeah, if you want to know. He took the boat out on the lake, he took a handgun that I didn't even know that we owned, and pow, right in the mouth. So, which hunter got what grade on what high school elective speech class assignment, it really doesn't matter to me right now. So, you want to be? You gotta be.
I apologize.
Oh, you want an A? All right. Ta-da!
A B is fine.
B it is. Anything else I can do for you?
These are my favorite parts of the movie, just watching Beth interact with people. There is another half to the narrative though, which I'm not totally sold on. I'm cool with the supernatural, but if you're gonna explain it, then the explanation needs to be solid. About 20 minutes into the movie, Beth finds Owen's sketchbook, and it becomes clear that either he's crazy, or there's something extra going on. I would have been fine with either direction, and it's not like the movie necessarily tries to fool the viewer, but I don't think that the ultimate plot twist was handled too effectively. I don't want to spoil too much, but the final act of the movie felt a little bit weak and potentially has some annoying plot holes, which is really bad considering how the entire movie is meant to lead up to this big final reveal. It's unfortunate because otherwise the narrative is pretty interesting, but in a similar way to Omori, if you're gonna bank so much of your story on that explosive final act, then you really gotta nail the landing, and I don't think that Night House pulled it off. Despite being such a simple looking movie, I do want to praise its fairly subtle use of CGI. That's pretty cool looking. although you can tell that they were really proud of that effect as the movie goes on. There's some other neat stuff too, mostly with lighting and color, as well as other CGI effects that don't get too overused. Other than that, there's not really a whole lot else. I do like the effective use of establishing shots to set the scene and give the film a chance to breathe. The editing is good, the story moves at a good pace, and the acting is great. Rebecca Hall is seriously good when she puts her heart into something. There's a lot that I want to like about this movie, but I don't think there's actually too much to this movie. I feel like its greatest strength has to do with how it handles the subject matter of depression and suicidal thoughts, and I was on board for a while. I thought it was going in an interesting direction, but it's towards the end when I feel like the narrative starts to fall apart. At least the ending itself is nice, I'll give it that, even if it is rather abrupt. Anyway, I don't want to give this a strong recommendation. If you decide not to watch it, then I don't think you're missing out on a whole lot. On the other hand, if it looks interesting to you, then I don't think it's a bad movie either. Just keep your expectations low. Thanks for watching my review on Night House.